Hi, this is JL Zaring, and we are out and about again today in nature with M, the trail dog. Just put the glasses on real quick. I'll be going over two quick things. Number one, if you just watched the Ford Expedition go up this hill, I was testing to see exactly how the four-wheel drive system worked on the Ford Expedition. And it is really good to learn and understand what type of system your vehicle has. Some people know right off the bat that they have all open differentials on their four-wheel drive, which is the worst four-wheel drive. Usually people refer to that as still two-wheel drive because it seems like at any given time only two tires are working out of the four with open differential. Other people know they have limited slip, in which case it's a little bit better than open differential. It might at times have all four tires working, and other times it can still only have 2 to 3. It depends how much slip is involved with the limited slip, but it is better than the open differential. Other people, they buy lockers. That's what they are referred to, where they can lock the rear, lock the front, and those are called selectable lockers because you can select when you want them locked and not. Other people, like myself, I have... Oh, what's wrong, Miss M? She's very excited. She can't wait to run. She's like, a camera time? What are we doing? No more camera time. With the Ford Expedition, it does have the capability of locked differentials, front and rear, but it's not selectable, so I just can't select it. It has a computer that will figure out when it is time to have both fully locked in the front and fully locked in the rear. One video was going up here. I went very, very slow to show how the backs started slipping at first, the fronts were not fully locked, and then after a few rotations of slipping, the fronts locked, and it went right up the hill very slow, very easy. Now I wish I had selectable, but at least this is much better than open differentials, even better than the limited slip, and it's almost on par with the selectable lockers, which there's pros and cons for all of them. Even the selectable lockers, as far as making sharp turns, when the front is locked, it makes it difficult to turn because it pushes instead. The reason for that is both tires are rotating the same speed. So what this video showed was exactly what the Ford Expedition has for people that have Ford Expeditions, at least from the year 2007 and up to, I believe, 2015. They still might have... Emma! She is sniffing out a rodent. It still might have the same for 2015 and up. But again, the bottom line is, it is important to know what type of four-wheel drive system your vehicle has so you can understand how your vehicle will operate under different terrain, because they all have different characteristics. And one simple way is go on to YouTube. You could select open differential vs lockers. You can select limited slip vs lockers, and there are plenty of videos for you to watch so you can understand how your vehicle might possibly work and handle under certain road trails such as this hill. So I noticed the back of mine slipped first, the front's caught, and I went right up when the front and rear were fully locked. Second, what I'm going to talk about is air pressure again. I know I mentioned it in the general off-road video. As far as air pressure is one of the most important concepts of off-roading for you to understand. It really is. In fact, it is so important that there has been many cases where people have been stranded in sand in the desert and they could not get their car out, and they died. And when the authorities finally saw them, the authorities were able to get the same car out by simply lowering the pressure of the tires. I think I mentioned that before. A lot of people just did not know they could do that. As soon as you lower the pressure of the tires, the footprint of the tire will be much greater, the traction much greater, and you can get out of a lot more than tires that are pumped up too much. I think I mentioned before that for avid off-road people, the highest they'll go is about 25 PSI, usually 20 to 25 PSI. In the sand, you can go 15 to 17 PSI. From what I have heard, a lot of Jeep guys, if they do not have bead lock rings, they usually go at the lowest 10 to 12 PSI with no problems. The tire still stays on the bead. But most people will say to keep it around 15 if you do not have bead lock rings. And if you do have bead lock rings, it can go all, you can go all the way down to 3, 4, 5 PSI to get ultimate traction uphill over rocks. And what I was going to say real quick, there are plenty of methods to let the air pressure out. It's always good to have multiple tire pressure gauges. I have had some go out on trips before, so it's really good to have 1, 2, 3, or 4 of these guys. And yes, I have electric ones too, but eventually those batteries will die. So if you don't want to replace the batteries, get a manual one without batteries, and get one where when you press it in, it holds the reading for you so you can see. There's plenty of times when I'll be letting the air pressure out or pumping it back up and it's not the best terrain, it's hard to see. You click it in, pull it out, and you can read it. Now, one of the easiest methods is just taking a point of something, like a knife, stick, whatever, undoing your, take your cap off. Hey Em, are you trying to help? We already took the air pressure out, Em. You can use your knife if you want, real gentle, or a stick, anything to let the air out. My favorite simple ones, and other guys have other brass ones where you can like, there'll be small little brass component where you can actually set the pressure you want. They just screw them on and the pressure will stop when it finally gets to it, and then you can take it off. Other guys have had problems with the springs and changing the pressure on those, so they don't like them. But it does take time to get the air out of here. On the street, I usually run about 45 PSI. Then to get all the way down to 20 PSI, you're looking at a good almost 5 minutes per tire, unless you have things like this. This is really simple. It's just a little stick. You get it on Amazon. You know, I'll have to research the exact name of it and I'll write it on the video screen for you. You'll probably be seeing it right now as you're watching it above my head or something. But you screw these in, you can walk away and air is coming out. So then you could tend to the front one and air is slowly coming out of the back ones. And there's 4 here, so this can fly. A lot of favorites that people like are by ARB. This is a great little tool. Basically, how this tool works is you take the valve cap off. Now look it, there's different dials here, or different rings you can spin. This first one here, you turn this, it tightens it on top of the valve. It's locked on there. This second one will actually catch the little valve core inside the valve stem, and you turn it the other way and it actually removes the core. And then you pull this out, the air shoots out very quick. I think it's timed at about, you can go from 45 PSI to 20 or 18 PSI in just about a minute. And as soon as you push this in, you can instantly get a reading of where you are at. And if you're not quite there, pull this out. The air just rushes, pushed in again, it stops. When you're finally done, please do not forget to screw back in the core. Some guys have forgot. They take this out and the core will shoot out across and it's gone. Hopefully you have more, and you should always have more, by the way. I always have spares where I go. Screw in the core, unscrew off the device, and you're set. These are one of the best as long as you do not lose the core. That's about the only issue with this. That'll take about 1 minute and 30 seconds per tire to do. If you do the knife or stick method, that's more or less about, it seems about 3 minutes, 4 minutes per tire. Much slower. The bottom line is though, if you have never experienced taking out the air pressure of your tires, when you first try it, you'll be amazed of the extra comfort and also traction that you'll experience off-road. And I really wanted to talk about this mostly for one of the first videos after the general video I did, because it truly is about the first essential thing that you and everyone should learn about going off-road. Again, sand is the least amount of air. Well, I should correct myself. Sometimes for the true rock climbers with Jeeps, it'll be less than sand, but sand is about 15 to 18 PSI. Rocks and steep trails with bead locks, about 5 PSI. Without the bead lock rings, you'll be more or less around 18 to 22 PSI on normal trails such as this. Okay, we are gonna head over under the trees, get into some shade away from this wind. I do have this really bushy, it looks like a foxtail thing over the speaker. I hope it is working for the wind. If it doesn't, I apologize for the wind noise. We'll go to the Bluetooth mics next. Okay, again, this is JL Zaring, and thank you very much for watching. Please give a thumbs up, and also please subscribe, as many more videos are soon to come your way. Okay, Em, let's get you some water. Hot Trail Dog, you ready? Okay.